Okay, good afternoon, my friends, and welcome to another edition of Removing the Liberal Blindfold for this Monday, the 8th day of April in the year of our Lord 2019. The Democrats have had it their way for so long now that our children are now unwitting pawns in their destruction of this nation. Pelosi figures that we should do what she says because she is the most powerful woman, and because of her position that one might add she shouldn't have been given again. Acting White House Chief of Staff Mick Mulvaney told Fox News Sunday that Mexico has done more to crack down on illegal immigration crisis during the past week than House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Democrat of California, and House Democrats. This is so true, folks, because the House Democrats and Nancy Pelosi don't want to do anything to help crack down on illegal immigration. After all, that is their voting block that they're counting on. The president gave Mexico a one-year warning this past week. He also calls a crisis. But why wait for a year? Fox News' Bill Hemmer asked. Hello, Claudia. Good to see you there. Keep in mind, I think that the word about waiting a year dealt with drugs. There's a couple of different things he said this week, which is what we need help right now, right away on the migrant crisis, on illegal immigration, folks coming across the Mexican border. We also have another longer-term issue with Mexico on drugs that I think if you go back and look at his statement, he said that we need help within the next year on drugs, Mulvaney said. The good news here is that in the last week, Mexico really has stepped up for the very first time. Hey, Claudia, I think I'm back, but I don't know for how long. They are preventing people for the first time from coming in on their own southern border down towards Guatemala and Honduras. And they are also accepting more folks that cross into the United States into Mexico, he said. As CNS News reports previously reported, Trump said Mexico has been capturing people crossing into Mexico from Central America and returning them to their countries. When asked what changed, Mulvaney said, I think they took him seriously. I think when the president comes out and says, look, if you don't start helping us, we are serious. We will look at closing the border. We will not look at tariffing. We will look at tariffing your automobiles. They recognize that's not empty threats for the president of the United States, as it always was before. The situation on the border is a crisis. We've been talking about that for, I guess, almost 3 months. Very few people believed us at the onset. I think more and more people are now accepting the fact that it is a real-life crisis. I think even the Washington Post and the New York Times acknowledged that for the first time this week. He said it is his number one priority. And when he sets out and says, look, Mexico, if you don't help us, we will have no choice but to do these things. I think Mexico is now paying attention, Mulvaney added. He also threatened to cut off aid to Central American countries. Is that still a threat today? Hemmer asked. Absolutely, for the same reason. This is his number one priority. Keep in mind, dealing with healthcare is nice. Dealing with the economy is nice. The president's first responsibility is to defend the integrity and the safety of the nation. And we really do believe, and I think, again, most folks are starting to agree with us now, that the situation on the border is a national crisis, Mulvaney said. The issue is this. Broadly speaking, families arrive here with children. They are willing to turn themselves in. The facilities that house them are overloaded, and then they are released into the country. Have the smugglers, Mick, have they beat us at our own policy, Hemmer asked. They certainly game the system. They're not stupid. Keep in mind, these are Mexican cartels. Oftentimes, they can reach hundreds, if not tens of hundreds of millions of dollars moving people. They traffic human beings. The goal has been deeper to what you just said. It's not just about families. Number one, Mexico has to continue doing what they are doing by preventing people from coming into Mexico on their southern border and then accepting people that we send. Number two, the Northern Triangle countries have to prevent their own people from leaving. And number three, this is one we don't get a chance to talk about enough. Congress must act, Mulvaney said. The laws are what is acting as this giant magnet for these illegal immigrants, and Congress has to chase those laws. Again, I think for the first time, even the Democrats are starting to recognize that, he said. Now, to remove the liberal blindfold, it's like she said before. Pelosi thinks she is impervious to anything against her. She is, after all, the most important woman because she worked hard to get where she is at, the Speaker of the House. But her policies and ideals are not what makes this country great. Her ideals and policies are what is helping to destroy not only America, but the Democrats too. She cares nothing about the policies to keep America great or safe. She cares nothing for anything except what she and her lemming Democrats want. And this week she got shot down again when President Trump did a runaround and threatened to close the border and then gave Mexico an ultimatum. Because of that ultimatum, Mexico stepped up and did what Pelosi couldn't or wouldn't, would have been the best way to put it. They did what they did to stop this for just the same kind of reason that Pelosi wouldn't. They didn't want the border closed. Pelosi didn't want it closed either, but Pelosi's way of doing things were 180 degrees out of phase with the way it should have been. Again, we have advantage Trump and Democrats zero because President Trump keeps doing this to them. Look for the Democrats and Pelosi to become more and more unhinged in the future because he can't be controlled, and that is what their modus operandi is. They must be the controller. But with Trump in the White House, they cannot be, and that pisses them off to insane amounts. Thank you, Claudia, for being here. We are here to push the facts that the liberal, lying, lamestream media leaves out, facts that change the story from what is right to what the left wants, which is never right anymore. Keep truth, justice, and the American way in place, as they are the things that will continue to keep this country a good and great country. God bless America. God bless our troops. And as always, we will not be ruled. Have a safe and blessed day.